Hola, hola, Bafethu. Welcome back to the Ballers Hub YouTube channel. My name is Lefatse, and today with me is Thami. Hola, hola, la.
It's Lefatse. How's it, my brother?
Ngimnandi. The CAF Champions League is coming back on Saturday, where we will see Orlando Pirates taking on the Pyramid, whilst Mamelodi Sundowns will be taking on Al Ahly, also from Egypt. So in this video, we'll be basically taking a look at South Africa's outstanding performers in the CAF Champions League. Maybe let us start with the Orlando Pirates. Orlando Pirates are undefeated in the CAF Champions League this season. And one of the outstanding players from that team is Relebohile Mofokeng. What can we say about Relebohile Mofokeng so far this season?
My brother, after Kaizer Chiefs beat Mamelodi Sundowns, I was saying to myself, I think now the debate as to who's going to be the footballer of the season is coming to an end. And you must remember that at least that player must have played at least 50% or if not 60% of the competition locally. And if you're talking red, Orlando Pirates has already won MTN 8 and he performed in that one. And now they're in the final of the Nedbank Cup. And when we speak CAF Champions League, we're speaking about somebody that has got 3 goals, my brother. You're speaking about somebody that has 2 assists. You are speaking about somebody that is at the age of 20 is the main man for Orlando Pirates in the biggest club competition in Africa. And for me, if we are to go down and speak the best players in this competition, depending on who goes all the way to win it, I think really should Orlando Pirates go all the way to win the Champions League, he should be the best player based in Africa at the age of 20. That's how good he is.
No, certainly he's been outstanding for Orlando Pirates this season. But another player that may go down under the radar is Mohau Nkota. You look at the numbers that Mohau Nkota has put up in the CAF Champions League. It's almost shocking that they are the same as Relebohile Mofokeng's numbers. He has also scored 3 goals and also has 2 assists this season. How has Jose Rivero used Mohau Nkota in the CAF Champions League? Because I think he's thriving in that competition.
My brother, we need to be honest. I think that's why I rate Jose highly. I remember if you look at the goals where in terms of where Mohau Nkota scored his goals, all away games. The first 2 in Morocco and the last one it was it in Egypt. So now when you look at that, it tells you that the coach knows how to use Mohau Nkota. He knows that we're going to play. Orlando Pirates is playing away. It means we're going to be behind in terms of the ball. We're going to be stiff of ball position. So in other words, we are going to depend on transition. That is why if you've noticed that normally when Tito is not there, we only depend on who? On Nkota, because of his runs that he makes on the shoulders of the defenders. And look at how he scored those goals. I think beside the goal that he scored in Morocco, the other goals are as a result of long balls or quick passing and movement. In those defenders. And for me, that has been the secret. And then if you also look at how he's been performing at home, so it means you can see that at home he doesn't perform well as he does when you play away. It's due to the fact that he's pacey and he scores goals. I think Uriviero understands and knows, if you remember, when Mohau Nkota was playing in the DTC, that's how Tutu Makanya used to use Mohau Nkota. Making those runs from the side but coming to the middle because of his pace and his finishing is clinical. So that's why he has 3 goals and 2 assists. And for me, I still believe it's going to be a secret weapon when Orlando Pirates plays Pyramids away in the semi-finals as well.
Maybe before we move on to the Sundowns and the Stellenbosch, Orlando Pirates lost to Oli Sanda through the mid-stage of the season. And one player has came in and cemented his place in that centre-back. His name is Nkosinathi Sibisi. But also, in goals you have for Sipho Chaine. How good have they been in the CAF Champions League, especially this season, after, a long time since we saw Orlando Pirates competing in the CAF Champions League?
My brother, if you've played football, you know that if you have a good goalkeeper as a centre back, you're confident. A good goalkeeper improves not just the defense but the rest of the team. You are speaking about Nkosinathi Sibisi. For me, he's not only in the debate for the defender of the season. In fact, for the player of the season, I think you need to analyze him carefully. He has performed in almost all this competition we're talking about, be it MTN 8, the league, the Nedbank Cup, and it's been exceptional in the CAF Champions League. I think sometime down the line, the fact that we are going to debate as to whether what happens if Olisanda comes back. What happens if the young defender comes back? What happens if Mbogazi is there? What happens if Kogi does not leave Orlando Pirates? And for me, I'm going to tell you, the first defender in that centre back pace is Sibisi. And currently, I would not even think twice because him and Bogazi. Remember, when you're playing as a centre back, it's about the pair. It's not, yes, individually. So when you analyze it carefully, you're probably going to say Olisanda is the best defender individually. But when you speak the pair, for me, I think I've noticed that OCBC plays better paired with any defender across all the Orlando Pirates defenders. Because you must remember, before Sasane got injured, Smith was playing brilliant. Sasane got injured. Orlando Pirates tried that pair of Kogi and Smith. I think that's the only pair that does not work for Orlando Pirates. Hence, now the coach was smart enough to come up with a back three that accommodates all three of them. But still, the ideal defender. I mean, I was looking at him in the Nedbank Cup. I always say to you, we always speak about this. I'm saying the Nkosinathi Sibisi of Golden Arrows is back, if not better. And I'm going to say this. He is currently, with no debate. Yes, Moloisane, you can probably put him in the bracket from Stellenbosch. For me, that's the second player that comes close to Sibisi, but it's not even number two. So in other words, there's no number two. Number one is Nkosinathi Sibisi by far.
No, you have certainly spoken of the good things about Sibisi there. Let us go on now to Mamelodi Sundowns, probably South Africa's biggest team currently in terms of the achievement that they have had in Africa. Let us talk about Ronwen Williams, a ball-playing goalkeeper, a captain, a leader. How good is Ronwen Williams, especially for Mamelodi Sundowns in the CAF Champions League? Because you look at their situations whereby the team is under pressure, but he always steps out and to make sure that the team doesn't concede goals.
My brother, if you want to see how good the guy is, go and watch Mamelodi Sundowns when they play CAF Champions League football away. When they played against Esperance Tunis, he gives confidence. He's a beast. He commands. I think also in the future, the debate is going to come down as to who was the best between Williams, Itumeleng Khune, and the late Senzo Meyiwa. I'm telling you, for me, I think at the end of the day, Williams is going to be number one because you're going to have to consider what he has won. But if we're speaking about his performances, I think there was a time when he was not playing for Mamelodi Sundowns, and you could tell because they kept changing the two goalkeepers and they were making many mistakes. Because remember, like I said in the beginning of our video, that when you have a good goalkeeper, the confidence built up for those defenders. I think he's a beast. And for me, he's by far the best goalkeeper in Africa. And probably the second, who else? Sipho Chaine. He has improved. He has become a beast himself.
Let us go on into the midfield now. And I want us to speak about arguably Africa's best CDM or number 8, Teboho Mokoena. You look at that guy, even the way he walks, you can tell Uti he feels what I am the main guy. And he doesn't only feel it, he shows it on the field of play. How instrumental has he been in that Mamelodi Sundowns team?
My brother, I'm going to tell you this. Before Bafana went all the way to become number 3 in the AFCON, who was the best player? Mokoena. What? I'm telling you, one of the key reasons why Bafana went all the way to get to a bronze medal in the in the AFCON, it was due to players such as Mokoena. And I had believed that immediately after the competition, the guy was going to leave South African football in terms of the domestic league. For whatever reason, he's still here. And when you speak Mokoena, what can you say? Have you ever seen the guy perform? No. Where can he not play? Because for me, that's why I love how you put it, because at times he confuses me whether it's an 8 or it's a 6. But it depends. I think he's so good that he understands as to who I'm playing against. Watching close when he's playing with Obas, the freedom, how he moves forward, how it becomes, because now it gives him that freedom to be just outside the box, and you know how tactical he is, and you know that he can score a goal. He just did it against Kaizer Chiefs. That free kick was something else. You are talking about the best player currently based in Africa. That guy, for me, I'm not sure if age is still on his side, but I still think he's still at 5 years in his football at the highest level, and I feel that regardless of what happens in Mamelodi Sundowns, regardless of what happens in Bafana Bafana, or even the Club World Cup, I think Club World Cup is going to expose him. I think that's where we're going to see the best of Mokoena. I think so many teams are going to be shocked. The confidence, the ooze in the guy when he holds the ball in the midfield. My brother, that's why Mamelodi Sundowns, they easily get past almost all the teams in the domestic league due to players like Mokoena. And for me, he's by far the best midfielder currently based in Africa.
He is certainly one of the best midfielders we have in the Betway Premiership and also in the CAF Champions League. But we are running out of time, but we cannot close the video without talking about one man, Peter Shalulile. The guy scored a brace against Imaniema, if I'm not mistaken, where Sundowns they looked like they were down and out. He came in from the bench and he went on and scored a brace. How important has he been? Not only in this season's CAF Champions League, but ever since he made that move to Mamelodi Sundowns in the CAF Champions League.
Once upon a time, there was a debate of saying Collins Besoma is probably the greatest export or import rather to play in the domestic league. I think those things are changing right now. I think I think we've had the privilege to see Peter Shalulile playing for a small team as Highlands Park in the Vela League, taking them all the way up, consistently performing, and Mamelodi Sundowns beat the competition of teams like Al-Ahly, Pyramids, all the North African teams were after Peter Shalulile while he was playing for Highlands Park. And at Mamelodi Sundowns, numbers don't lie. I think it's two or three goals away from actually beating the non-veterans record. And it's already Sundowns' best player in terms of the strikers. I think is ahead of Mambush Mudau right now. And going back to the season, there was a time where there was debates around whether he's off form, are they going to sell him? If you remember, there were question marks. But as soon as he was given the opportunity, he started banging those goals. The guy, I think people need to understand at times, when you are a striker, that's what I love about him. He understands his own. When you are a forward, it does not matter how you play at times. It does not. Yes, there's question marks in terms of whether when he's playing with trainers, they seem alike in terms of how they make their runs and whatnot, if you notice carefully. But as a striker, we are always going to judge you in terms of what the numbers, in terms of what, in terms of goals. And for me, whenever it's in the field of play, especially in the CAF Champions League, Mamelodi Sundowns has got a chance. That is why, for me, regardless of the fact that they've got the Ribeiro, who I think is a lot of bit of form, he still is their main man in the forward line.
No, thank you very much. There you have it, people. It's the CAF Champions League, and these have been your outstanding performing players currently in the CAF Champions League from the South African football team. Thank you very much, and we'll see you guys next time. Please don't forget to like, share, and